Hello and welcome into another edition of the PHNX D-Backs podcast. Of course, brought to you here on Friday by our friends at OG's. We'd like to give a shout out to OG's Brands, the official sponsor of Flavoring Fridays. OG is not your average cannabis-infused company. They absolutely knock it out of the park when it comes to flavor and the effects of their gummies. They are a total slam dunk, which has nothing to do with our sport. But head on over to ogsbrands.com to see their full lineup and find out what you can purchase. This episode is brought to you by the letter E. That's my best Muppet. Of course, it's the 8th day of December.
It's in cookie. We love it.
And that's this guy. This guy is Espo with an E. It's the 8th day of December. I am Derek Montilla. There's some E's in there as well. There's 2 E's in OG's. And of course, the Diamondbacks acquired a bunch of players with E's. We have Eugenio Suarez and Eduardo Rodriguez. So, of course, again, Espo, he's also here. And we're going to talk about the Diamondbacks, obviously, on a day sponsored by E, bringing back Evan Longoria and pursuing Eddie Rosario, I guess, right? No, none of those things are actually what we're going to do, but we are going to talk about this team.
How about a Rubio Durazo?
Craig, I'm down for that. Craig Morgan, his mind is melting right now seeing Espo here on set. And of course, there's no E's in Craig Morgan's name, so he can't participate at all in this episode. But we're thrilled to have you guys here, of course. Your mayor, PHNX. This is your czar of content here at PHNX. And I needed to bring him in while Jesse is traveling back from Tennessee. Hopefully he does return to us, but let's talk about...
There's some E's in that, too.
Yeah, Tennessee? And let's talk about elevating, shall we? The Diamondbacks elevating their roster. I know...
I saw the beginning. Shohei's coming?
Yeah, Shohei is coming. Shohei is on his way. No, there is a lot to talk about when it comes to Shohei, or actually nothing to talk about, and we'll get to that, of course, soon. Maybe something happens over the course of the show based on certain flight plans and when private planes are going to land in Toronto. But
Shohei Watch 2023.
All right. You've had a chance, obviously, to see a team here in the Valley do something exactly like the Diamondbacks did, make the finals, and then have to build on that finals appearance, right? One way that needs to be done is through the roster, changes to the roster, kind of trying to make the team better. And while they're not quite turning to the dark side as much as the Suns did or have, but they did go out and pick up some quality talent that was available through trades and free agencies, and they are at least demonstrating to the fan base that they're trying to build on this and do it in a way that makes a little bit of financial sense while still pursuing some of the, I guess, names that or players that are going to improve this team.
I would argue that they've actually done a better job in the offseason following their run to, obviously, the World Series, Suns to the finals. The Suns didn't really do a lot coming out of that where there were any changes in terms of anything major. The Diamondbacks have addressed serious needs that they had. We all know that the bullpen game was a big question mark in the World Series.
Yeah.
I mean,
people hated that
turning point too.
It literally made people start questioning the game of baseball, and it was kind of an insult to Torey and the Diamondbacks, as if they weren't actively trying to win a game by pursuing it with a bullpen game, right? But no team wants to throw a bullpen game out there, regularly, let alone in the middle of a World Series postseason run.
But they didn't have a choice,
right?
For multiple reasons, And I mean, when you think about where that season started with Madison Bumgarner and this in the rotation and everything, to where they wound up. And the fact that they had to throw a bullpen game in the World Series, it is what it is. I mean, a lot of things were patchwork just to get there. And the rotation
exactly.
was one of them, but they've addressed it. I mean, Rodriguez is a huge upgrade in terms of that. It lets Brandon Pfaadt still develop as much
without
as
feeling that pressure of being one of the three guys that needs to get them to the postseason.
Yeah, and it gives him the ability to grow into what you hope he can be in the next 3 seasons. And it solidifies your rotation now.
Yeah.
You arguably have one of the best rotations in your division now, which is huge, and they did it in a cost-effective way. Plus, he hates the Dodgers, which we all love about an individual.
He's an instant legend because of the move that he made with the Dodgers situation, right? But again, that's something that is probably going to make Dodgers fans like him less, and that spices up this rivalry between the two of us. So I'm totally on board for that. But yeah, you're right. I mean, the way that it does change the lineup, there's a lot of people that are looking at his career stats. Jesse looked at his peripherals. Of course, Jesse had to spoil everything and make comparisons to Madison Bumgarner, which weren't unfounded, but at the same time, the two are in a much different place in their career when they are this age coming over to a team like this. There is some concern about obviously committing 4 years to a guy, especially during a time frame where the Diamondbacks are going to probably change over those 4 years, especially potentially after the post Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly year, should they not remain on this team.
But I think you have to accept when you're playing. Yes, the Diamondbacks went to the World Series last year, but there's still a way that they're viewed and the way that they operate. And sometimes you have to overpay in terms of either total dollars or an extra year to get somebody to come to your franchise. And that's just the cost of doing business. And I'm all right with it because I feel like they've learned. It wasn't let's go after one really big fish like Zach Greinke or Madison Bumgarner. This was let's go get a guy, we're familiar with because Hazen and Lovullo knew him from Boston.
Right.
But B, that we feel like, 30 is not, that old. Let's be honest. In this,
we're two guys that are going to
40s
defend that. Yeah,
but so for me, I think it was the right kind of signing in the spot you're looking at. You solidify third base a little bit with Suarez and what he can do. And is he perfect? No, but again, you've got a dollar store budget and you got Nordstrom taste. At some point, you got to go, where's the knockoff, right? I'm gonna take the thing that is almost as good as what I want, but it costs a little bit less, and that's fine.
There's some things, especially when you're shopping for people around this time of year, you have to do that for, right? Yeah, you can have the name brand, this and that, but you know what? No, I'm not buying you the Apple branded AirPod holder. You're going to get a $5 one from Amazon and you're going to like it.
Yeah, sure. It looks like Gucci, but that G don't stand for Gucci. And I'm all right with that.
But that's the thing. They're not in a position where they needed one guy to come save them. What they needed was to fix some of their weaknesses from last season, and they're addressing those. And that's what's happening right now.
Well, and they didn't do anything to dramatically change the chemistry that helped them get where they got last year. I mean, Gino, everything we've heard is unbelievable
the clubhouse guy, right? Yeah.
And that Seattle's going to greatly be hurt by his departure. And sometimes those intangibles are just as important as could we have gotten a guy that hits 30 points higher batting average? Maybe the chemistry is just as important. I think last year's team proved that.
Yeah.
Chemistry is just as important sometimes as high-end talent is.
And you're literally talking about like you hit the ball 3% of the time more, or whatever, right? But yeah, there are intangibles like that, just like the intangible of Gino being able to play third base every single day for an entire season, which Torey Lovullo will never allow. But still, to have a guy over there that's capable of that solves the rotating door issue that they had all season long and even in the playoffs with third base.
Well, and again, if Lawler's the guy you're looking at as your future potentially at that position, this is a guy that takes the pressure off of him. If you
he'll get you there. He'll fill that gap between now and then.
If you went into spring training, you're like, hey, young guy, you got to do this because, well, we don't have any other real option. That's not fair to a prospect to put them in that position. This way, you like with Fott, you give them a runway to grow into what you want them to be on a consistent basis, if that's where you're looking at the future. I love these moves because they're smart, they fit within the budget, and they build upon where you were last year. So So if you can have a hot streak like you did at the end of the year last year, now you got all these reinforcements to help you.
Dirtbike Boy 714. We are going to get to your super chat here in the second segment, but I like that question, and I am going to very much try to do my best to convince you why the Diamondbacks don't need Ohtani. But a guy who they do need is a guy that Ken Rosenthal reported today that the D-backs are one of two teams, along with the Seattle Mariners, once again, us and the Mariners, hand in hand, trying to make a deal for Jorge Soler work. And obviously, the first most important part about this is he has two E's in his name. So again, it's permissible to talk about him today. But he would hypothetically solve the Diamondbacks' outfield need potentially. Like, he's not great there, but he did play 31 games in right field for the Marlins in 2023. He would also fill in at DH and be their regular DH, and the man just absolutely hits the cover off the ball. We know that. Do we have the Baseball Savant page? Because again, I talk about how I look at JD Martinez's page every night before I go to bed. Well, this might be a good one to also look. Look at all that red. Look at all that red. The man just smashes the baseball.
I feel like this is what Jesse looks at every night.
Correct.
Like,
yeah.
He just looks at Baseball Savant, and it's just what he loves. It's his kink. Right?
It's his free time. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna go check out JD Martinez's one more time.
You think he locks the door while he does it?
He probably
I'm gonna
does.
draw myself a nice bath.
Yeah, get some candles going. Really sets the mood. He really does. Like, you know, I don't know what music Jesse would listen to. I'm guessing some light jazz or something, maybe. You know, I don't know.
Kenny G. I feel like Kenny G with a little Baseball Savant.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's got the picture of the sick rap four sitting on the tub. Like, it's just
look at this ex-Woba.
You know, a nice glass of milk in a wine glass.
That
I feel like this is Jesse's
percentage.
Nice. Yeah. Look at all that red.
Look at all that that sweet spot.
Yeah.
72nd percentile.
Jorge. Give me that cigar. Oh yeah.
Yep. But of course,
the most disturbing thing I think we've ever done on a show.
Yeah, this is what we can do. This is what we do when Jesse's not here. He should know better than to not be on the show.
But flavor your Friday with some Baseball Savant.
There's a lot of fun about Jorge Soler, and again, I mean, he might cost a little too much. He's projected to sign for 2 years, $32 million. And again, if the Diamondbacks are sticking to that budget that they said that they were going to stick to, that would pretty much tap them out for spending this offseason, which might not, you know, it doesn't always have to be a split deal, right? A big part is the $14 million they still owe to Bumgarner this year. So, you know, you factor in that maybe they could backload it for the second year or something like that. But
at this point, you sign him, even if you're tapped payroll wise, what else do you really need to address? It's not a huge amount you need to address at that point. And then you can address it via trade, which Hazen has been great at. I see Jesse. Sorry, Jesse.
Yeah, Jesse caught us. He caught us right when he thought we weren't watching.
Jesse's like, what do I do? What did I do to deserve this?
Yeah, that's very true. But what you were saying is very true. Like, he does address so many of their needs that, like, again, what more do you need? I mean, there are a couple of things I'm sure they would like. I'm sure they would like a better outfielder as far as a defender goes. But I mean, I think last year we didn't have very nice things to say about Lourdes and his defense, and he ended up being one of the better defenders in baseball as far as outfielders are concerned.
I mean, Jorge would be I'll just say it, the best DH in D-backs franchise history. Did you see the stat line, the slash line last year at this position?
Yeah.
219, 291, 387. That ain't good.
Yeah,
that ain't great, Bob.
Yeah.
But I feel like you overpay a little bit if you need to, because this makes you significantly better.
I just think the only problem is what you just, obviously what you just pointed out is a huge problem, right? But I mean, you also have the fact that, you do have some options out there that we discussed, like Martinez and Justin Turner. And those are guys that, as a DH, they're not going to be as powerful as Soler, but they're going to deliver more consistently. And I feel like with the struggles we saw, with the way that Christian Walker, who was their big bat, kind of disappeared in the postseason, that Soler, the risk here could be that he's another one of those guys that the slash line isn't going to be great. His stats aren't going to be great. He's going to, drive in some RBI and hit some home runs. But, I don't know if, maybe going for someone with that consistent bat as far as getting the hits might be the direction, especially if it's going to be cheaper, right? Like JD.
But are you looking for power in your DH, or are you looking for that consistency? I think that's the question. And what's the Hazen Lovullo strategy there?
Right.
You probably lean to more consistency, right? Based on,
especially if that consistency is going to be a little bit cheaper than going for. I mean, again, this isn't a very risky deal. 2 years, $32 million, but again, that's a lot of money to be putting in essentially someone that isn't going to play outfield every day and is going to be your DH.
But does that matter that much anymore at this point? Is that, to me, that feels like old NL thinking, right? Before the DH.
Yeah, like it was like you're almost a pinch hitter kind of deal, right?
Like,
DH is a regular role. It's just, as Jesse pointed out yesterday, Torey does like to utilize that role as a way to get guys off their feet and just still keep them in the lineup without having them be out there in the outfield. So, like, the idea that they need an everyday DH might not be even what Torey necessarily wants.
Or is this where Torey has to learn to get out of his habits a little bit and evolve? There's another E word for you. I mean, because sometimes that's just part of this, right? A manager has to look at himself too and go, where can I change? Where can I improve to take that next step? It's not just my lineup, it's how I handle my lineup. And maybe this is a nod to that's not necessarily the best strategy for them, and that they do need that power, because sure, Christian Walker was that power and he did tail off. So where was your second power bat?
Not really.
If you have that at your DH,
it's Corbin Carroll.
I mean, if you have that at your DH, it's security for when you hope both of them don't go lose all power in their bats at the same time. So one's off, other one's on. Well, you still got that threat in your lineup. So maybe that's the thinking here too.
I'm going to put you on the spot.
Please
Soler or JD?
Don't do that to me.
No, I'm going to do it.
It's JD Martinez for me every time. But most of the time, if you're going to put him as the other option, that's going to be the one I take, because I love JD Martinez in an irrational way, like in a Kill Bill kind of way. SZA, that song, I have a therapist that tells me there's other men out there, but I don't want them.
So you can't even look at it from a baseball perspective.
No,
it's like a pure familial love.
It's an upsetting, completely biased point of view that I will never be able to get past as a journalist, a host, or as a human being.
He looks at pictures of JD Martinez in a D-backs jersey the way that Jesse looks at baseball.
Correct. He's right. There's a JD Martinez poster behind my office door at home, and it's there on purpose because I close the door when I
lock the door when you watch the 4 home run game highlights.
Damn right I do. That is pornography to me, sir.
And you know it when you see it.
Yeah, that's right.
Look, for me, I think you got to go Soler, right? I mean,
well, if it's for no other reason than the puns, the pun, you have to appreciate the pun game.
I do appreciate the pun
Soler
game.
Power.
I mean,
Solar system.
Yeah, and you're in the Valley of the Sun, so
the Valley of the Soler.
I mean,
we could call all his home runs Soler flares.
Yeah, I mean,
a solar eclipse when he has a bad game.
I mean, there's so much you could do.
Solar panels. Damon,
hey,
we have panels.
Hold
solar
on.
panels.
No, that was my old podcast name.
Sorry.
Do not start stealing my stuff here, all right? I'll let a lot go, but that's where I'll draw the line.
That's fine.
I'm all for that, especially, with our new radio booth. We're gonna need puns.
Right.
We gotta embrace the pun, right? This is a new world order that we're looking at.
You're right.
So
the headlines are going to write themselves. The headlines are going to write themselves.
I mean, your thumbnail game gets that much better if he's
incredible.
here.
Yeah.
I like his game. I like the puns. I'm in on it. Spend a little bit more. I'm sorry, Ken. You're going to have to open the wallet a little bit further than you might have wanted to. But guess what? You don't make money unless you spend money. And the only way to get people in a ballpark in this town is to win and be a contender. Well, and that's what you got to prove to people you are.
What they are trying to do, which is kind of, what we heard again differently from the Suns, is they kind of went in a cheaper direction, right? They have that ballpark pass now, which honestly is the best value in all of Major League Baseball, and it allows people to get in there, right? You would rather sell that pass and have people sign up for it and come to games and fill these empty seats rather than having that airplane hangar of a stadium half empty, especially if you're going to make all those renovations and make it look all beautiful next season, you want it full of fans. Fans bring money, even if you're giving them seats for free. They bring money to the ballpark. They pay for parking. They pay for, I know if I get free tickets to an event or cheap tickets, I'm that much more apt to go buy merch or go buy stuff, right?
Like, that's why you're the mayor. You get those free tickets.
You're right.
You
you're
get
right.
treated like royalty.
Us
get
out of here.
Don't get any
out
of that.
Here.
Yeah,
local
plebes,
sex symbol, ESPO, right?
Nobody's ever accused me of that.
I don't believe that for a second.
You want to? Can I give a little story time? I know we're
please.
Okay.
This is what. Well, come on. What are we going to do? Talk whip?
Who am I, Jesse? No,
right, yeah.
No.
It's story time.
Look, what your kink is on your own time. I don't know about whip. All right. Look, for me, when I was at the Suns during the dark days, I pitched this exact pass idea to our marketing department. I'm like, we got nobody coming here. Why don't we just sell a pass where you can go as much as you want in a month? It's a flat fee, and your hope is people don't show up at certain times. So you still have the inventory that you can sell to other people, but you're making this money.
Yeah.
I said, why are we not doing it?
Especially on an app where you can like decide if you want to go so that the team has an idea if you're going to attend, so that, like you said, those tickets are available for other people or whatever, right?
I got laughed at, but I'm glad the Diamondbacks embraced this concept.
Let me ask you this, just curious, because this is something obviously the Diamondbacks have to deal with, and I understand it. Like, is there a point where like, oh, well, we'll get opposing fans in the building comes into like the marketing thought process, or is that never really on the table?
What? I mean, with the pass?
No, I'm just saying in general, when you're like struggling as a team, where you're trying to be alluring to anybody to get in the building, no matter who they root for.
Yeah, at some point you are okay with leaning into that.
Yeah,
but at least in my experience, I hated it as a
people hate the versus dog. You know what I mean? And that's innocent. That's literally just saying like, hey, we made a hot dog that's kind of like from the region of the team we're playing, and people are like, that's placating to the fan base too much.
As a fat guy, I'm like, hey, I get a different hot dog every series. Let's do this. But yeah, I don't like when you when you try to market to the opposing fan, because there's something sacred about your home field advantage, right? And I'd rather, obviously it ain't my money, I'm not Ken Kendrick, but I'd rather have a half-empty stadium than a full stadium with two-thirds Dodgers fans. That does not do anything for me building a brand here. That just gives me a short-term pop cash flow wise, but actually hurts my long-term branding. My goal is to turn those Dodgers fans into Diamondbacks fans, because you live here, and I'm going to give you a reason to, be a front runner this way rather than that way.
Yeah, no, that's a great point.
Because also, we know Dodgers fans are all front runners.
That's very true. We also have the fact that, like, again, that pass kind of helps with that, right? Because you can't just transfer your tickets to someone else or whatever. So you're not just selling your season tickets to whoever wanting to buy it, and again, allowing those fans to take over. So yeah, I agree with that.
Don't start me on people selling their season tickets.
I will not. I will not. I know how you feel about that. But I also know how you feel about Gila River Resorts and Casinos, because we had a very good time there. A great place for a staycation.
It's a great place for any time.
Anytime, right? Really. It's a great place for any time, especially when you need to get away. Like, you really do feel like you are out of the valley and you are gaming and experiencing an unprecedented level of entertainment and excitement that you won't find anywhere else. Not here in the desert, at least, right? Because sometimes you got to travel to Atlantic City or Las Vegas for that kind of fun.
Noise.
Forget that.
Yeah, it's right down that. I mean, they've got multiple locations.
Right.
Wild Horse Pass is right down the 10. You can go there and have a great time. And surprisingly good food, because usually, other places I've been, not great food. I've had great Italian food, great Asian food at their great American fare.
And that's why I love staying there. I love staying on property to a place where I can go and eat at multiple that's why Vegas, can be great, right? Because it has all of that right there. But why do that? Why go over there? Vegas is crowded. It's terrible sometimes. You can experience all of that great fun here in Valley. And of course, they do offer the dining options that Espo's talking about. They have the state-of-the-art gaming floor and so much more. So head to Gila River Resorts and Casinos and let them show you what the next level is all about. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit play@gila.com for more details. And
Thank you. We don't use the "you do you" slogan enough on Suns. I love that.
I do too.
You.
Yeah.
You do you and go out
for
there.
Real.
All right.
You do you, and you can do it any way you want. You can go just for a night. You can have a great time. Bingo is a blast. Everybody's like, bingo is an old person thing. Maybe I'm an old person now, but midnight bingo goes hard. It goes crazy.
Midnight bingo isn't an old person thing unless they're getting up for breakfast.
Exactly.
Right?
That's very true. Exactly.
That's a young person.
That's how you weed out the old people. You put it at midnight. God. See,
and
Espo gets it.
You want a staycation for your baseball savant? Stay 2 nights.
That's right.
You do you. Have fun.
You and your laptop just in a hotel room together, having the best time. Also, speaking of best time, check out BetMGM to have the best time when you're watching sports. You can download the BetMGM Sportsbook app now and use our code of PHNX, and you can get back up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. All you have to do is download the app on iOS or Android or visit betmgm.com, sign up and deposit at least $10 into your BetMGM Sportsbook account, place your first wager, and you will receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if the bet loses. If your bet does lose, your bonus bets will be available once your initial wager is settled. And what better time to go ham on a gigantic bet than when you have the ability to get those bonus bets back, of course. And yeah, once you get those bonus backs, you can then maybe go shoot for the fences. Maybe do one of those same game parlays. Get yourself some big money and have that safety net underneath you of getting those funds back as bonus bets. Sign up for BetMGM today. Use that bonus code of PHNX. Place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the Sportsbook mobile application of at least $10. If that bet loses, your bonus bets will be available once your initial wager is settled. Check out the show notes for full details. And now listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Nevada, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., New York, or Ontario.
Ontario. Espo doesn't know that one yet. That's fine.
No, I do. Get stuffed, Ontario, because they have no fun.
He goes in a different direction.
No, they have no fun in Ontario. It's void in Ontario. Why is it void? We're talking Ontario, California, Ontario, Canada.
Yeah.
It's Ontario CA one way or another,
Maybe
and
so.
I don't like it.
Yeah, it's true. It's very
have
confusing.
More fun, people.
It's very confusing. It's almost as confusing as this entire Shohei Ohtani situation, which also involves Canada. Canada's
California.
In on it. California. California and Canada. They're both in on it. It's a big conspiracy here, I think. But speaking of conspiracies, MLB trade rumors did not help things out by posting this screenshot of essentially an article saying that Shohei Ohtani has indeed signed with the Toronto Blue Jays. Blue Jays to reportedly sign Shohei Ohtani. Trade rumors put that out. Did they, I believe they deleted it. Did they delete the tweet, Damon, or is it still an active tweet that exists out there?
I'm pretty sure it's still active.
Oh, my God.
In the article, though, it says that there's conflicting reports that like he has not made a choice.
There's being one of the
they're not helping things with the conflicting reports there. But, I mean, this is crazy. The way, of course, the Ohtani, I mean, we knew Ohtani was going to be a big deal. We knew this was going to kind of happen. I don't know if we really knew it was going to hold up the baseball free agency world the way it has. I mean, it has kind of put everything on hold. I've said a few times that if I'm an agent for one of the top pitchers in baseball, my client is not signing until Ohtani signs. Because no matter what, there's going to be 5, maybe 6, maybe 7 teams that had put aside Ohtani money for Ohtani, and now they're not getting him, so they might just be that much more apt to now pay your client as much money as you're seeking.
I'm surprised that there hasn't been more activity from the people who are that next level below, knowing that once that dam breaks, that there's going to be, in some ways, it's going to shake up things. Like if I can get my money now from a team, I just go do it, right?
Yeah.
I take it now and let the chaos reign, because at some point there's going to be musical chairs, and some of those teams waiting for Ohtani are going to have nobody left, right?
Sure.
And if they're smart, they're not going to overspend on it.
I was going to say, maybe they're not going to budget their Ohtani. They're not putting that money aside for just anybody. It's for Ohtani, and should Ohtani not be available, they're not going to spend it.
Yeah, and I actually think this is good for baseball. I get that slowing the hot stove down isn't ideal at the winter meetings. You want a lot of things to pop, but people are talking about where is Shohei Ohtani going to go. And I heard a lot of people, oh, this guy's so secretive. He doesn't want things leaked.
Yeah.
I think that's good too. There's a mystery to it.
We talked about it coming off as pretentious a bit. Like some people feel it's pretentious, and it's like, it's probably not Shohei Ohtani making this decision to keep it secret. It's probably an agent thing, or you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
You never, I mean,
it could be him. I mean, it seems like he's a private person,
right? And it could have gotten blown out of that. Like he asked for it to just kind of be kept private, and then then that announcement becomes an announcement, and now people are blowing that out of proportion because again, it seems to be one of the biggest things in sports that's, ever, or not sports, but in baseball that's happened in a long time. Like,
I think this is a big thing in sports right now.
Right. Like, I can't think of this happening too often where it kind of the decision where a guy's going to go kind of compels not only that sports fandom, but like it's transcended to like pop culture. And there's a lot of people that don't know much about baseball that know Shohei Ohtani is that big decision is happening and what it could mean.
That's exactly what baseball needs.
Yeah.
Baseball's marketing has always fallen short of the other sports. They tried to live off of the fact that baseball's America's pastime. Well, guess what? It's been lapped in that case.
It has.
It's not.
It has.
You got the NFL, the NBA does better marketing. This kind of situation, they should be thankful for. And I get it. It doesn't follow the unwritten rules of baseball, and it shouldn't take this. I don't care, right? Yeah. I don't care about your unwritten rules. Yeah. What baseball needs is an injection of interest, of intrigue. That's what this is doing.
Yeah.
And if it takes a month and a half, baseball should be thankful for it because it keeps baseball being talked about in freaking December.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's not something that usually happens. You get a few days of interest around winter meetings and then it's dead.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Shohei Ohtani, much like he has on the field, is breathing some life and interest into your offseason, and there is nothing wrong with that.
Well, things have gotten this out of control with Ohtani. You have this tweet talking about Twitter detectives essentially looking at flight schedules and figuring out that there is a private jet schedule. This is from Jim Bowden, that there was a private jet scheduled today at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time at John Wayne Airport in Anaheim, and it was going to Toronto. So, of course, people know for a fact that there's no way a private jet could be flying out of the Los Angeles, California area going to Toronto without it, in fact, being Shohei Ohtani.
$100 says this is Drake.
Waiting for Shohei to sign.
No, Drake's is going home to Toronto.
But you know what Drake's going to do? He's going to throw on a Blue Jays jersey. He's just going to wait on the tarmac all day long just to see if Shohei shows up. But
well, did you see the other one? Somebody reported yesterday. I believe it was either the Blue Jays GM or one of their higher ups had rented out a sushi restaurant for 35 people. I think it was last night. Mm-hmm. And everybody's like, oh, well, it's got to be a celebration dinner, right? Turned out it was his wife's surprise party.
Yeah, and you guys ruined it. You ruined it. You ruined the surprise.
I love this, though, right? This is part of the fun of it, right?
I mean,
the absurdity.
When have you seen this before? Like LeBron signing? Like that was one.
The NBA flight tracking, this stuff, this is normal in NBA offseason.
This is standard for exciting sports that people are interested in.
I mean, this has become kind of the norm. It may be new to baseball, but we've seen it elsewhere.
Sure.
The one that reminds me of this, though, most recently, Aaron Rodgers.
Oh yeah.
What is he going to be traded? Is he not?
Point.
Where's he going to go? All these.
He's going to make the announcement on Pat McAfee. Yeah. He's
going to be in a silent retreat in darkness for 3 days, trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
I mean, Shohei's in a different kind of his own isolation of his own doing, but it reminded me kind of that. But again, this is good for baseball.
It is good for baseball.
It's good.
Connor says low-key stalker behavior never change baseball. It is low-key stalker behavior, and I'm not going to at all call it anything other than that.
Isn't all sports low-key stalker behavior?
Yeah, we are stalker. Yeah, that's exactly what we do. Like, it would be weird if we covered any other job. Like, if I worked at my old job in the banking industry and people just had statistics on, my error percentage.
Or your salary for that matter. They're debating your salary. You know what? That guy doesn't deserve that $25,000 he's making.
Absolutely
it's
not.
soccer behavior in sports in general.
Yeah, you're
we
right.
know what they make. We know exactly what they do at work.
We know what they live. We know who they're married to.
They're dating.
Who they're dating.
It's stalker behavior.
It is true. It is true. I remember when I first heard that Corbin Carroll was dating Miss America, I was like, "Aw, good for him. He achieves good things on and off the field." I was so happy for him.
Look at that.
Speaking of all of this stuff and Ohtani, we do have that super chat I wanted to get back to. Damon, if you could throw that up on screen. And this comes from Dirt Bike Boy 714. He asks, "Tell us why we don't need Ohtani and leave out his Tommy John injury." And I will. I mean, I know a big part of it for me personally is the Tommy John injury and the fact that he's not pitching next season. I think that the Diamondbacks have two windows that they need to kind of time frames, windows, if you will, that they need to pay attention to. The sooner one is the Zach Gallen, the Merrill Kelly, the next couple of years, basically doing everything they can to capitalize on the success from last year and build on it and understand that they have a team that's ready to be competitive, ready to be a contender. And if they can add those pieces to it now, they can really do that. They can really be a team that's in the playoffs over the next 5 years consistently if they keep up on this roster with the core that they have. But now with that being said, you can't just put that all into one guy. And it's not just the money that you're committing to next year or the following year. It's the amount of money that the Diamondbacks are committing to Ohtani or any team is committing to him over a 10-year period of time. The Diamondbacks just aren't a team that have that kind of money. And if you get into a phase where they miss the playoffs or where they have a losing season and they're not over 500, then all of a sudden that starts to look like an albatross around your neck. It starts to look like something that's going to keep you from being able to go out there and continue to improve that game, or that team, right? Like Ohtani could potentially handcuff a team on what they spend in the future and how they improve it. And then that team just ends up like the Angels, a mediocre team with two of the best players in baseball on it. But those two guys aren't enough to win championships because baseball is just not that game. Basketball, maybe, because there's 5 guys out on the court and 2 guys being out there together can really cause havoc against an opposing defense. But baseball is a 9-guy thing, and it does require a whole team to be pretty good in order for them to be competitive.
Yeah, I mean, quarterback in NFL, you could argue that, but
sure,
you're 100%,
absolutely.
Goaltending in the NHL, I think you could argue that. But you brought up and hit the nail on the head. What has he won?
Yeah.
I mean, he had Mike Trout as his teammate in LA. They had 2 of the best players, and I get it. It's a 9-guy thing. It's who's your bullpen, all these things.
Yeah.
But that's exactly the argument why you don't spend $60 million on one guy.
Correct.
Because it's I don't think he's worth it.
Yeah.
And
baseball's just hard. Baseball's hard because you pay a guy $15 million because he can hit the ball 28% of the time instead of 24% of the time, right? Like that's literally what you're talking about with some of these guys. And I know breaking it down to that basic of a figure kind of trivializes how good some of these guys are, but still that's what it can come down to, like paying that much more. So if you can get a bunch of guys that are maybe mid or a little bit above mid, right? That's better than having those superstars on your team that's where kind of all your money is. And then everybody else is a below average player.
Well, especially when you're trying to build homegrown superstars in some of these guys.
Right.
And it obviously looks like Corbin Carroll will be one of those. But the other thing with Ohtani is it doesn't fit Hazen's MO.
Yeah.
This is not Hazen's way.
Yeah.
And Hazen's way got you the World Series last year. And diverting too much from it, I don't think is a smart thing. I think we've seen this franchise do that too often. They do something in the playoffs, or they make the playoffs when maybe they weren't supposed to. And then they go, oh, we're going to make this big splashy signing, and it doesn't work because it goes against what their larger strategy was, and they just throw it away. And that's not the way you build something. You stick to a strategy, you make small adjustments based on where you are, and maybe you spend a little bit more sooner than you than you were planning to. But you don't throw the entire strategy out to go chase one big fish because, like you said, baseball's more than one guy, and you do that, you screw yourself, especially in a market where you have little margin for error with your salary in a sport that has no salary cap, and you're self-imposing what you can spend based on what your franchise can afford. you can't make a big error.
Yeah.
Because you know what happens? You wind up not being able to dig yourself out of it, like we've seen. It takes 5 years to build it up the right way through the system, and then if you repeat the cycle, you've screwed yourself again.
Yeah. And Ohtani feels a bit like buying your spouse a car, like one of those commercials where they put the big stupid bow on it, right?
Hold on.
Wait,
those are the dumbest commercials ever.
I know.
But go ahead.
And also, all I can think when I see those is, what did he tell the rest of the family? Sorry, here's your stuffed animal, Susie. I bought your mom a Lexus. Like, what are we even doing here?
You know what? If Ohtani were like that, it would be like Mike Hazen signing him to $60 million without telling ownership. And then they just show up for the introductory press conference and go, surprise! And then all of a sudden they look at the bank account and they go, yeah, but you just spent all that money.
Mike, can we talk about this really fast?
Yeah.
You know, that kind of
we
thing,
didn't
right?
have that budgeted.
I know you bought this for me, but we share a bank account. What the hell are you doing, right? Well, here's another metaphor for you, and you'll like this because it's a food metaphor. But it's like Mike Hazen's strength isn't in going out and getting those big names, right? His strength so far has been in doing a lot with very little, bringing guys over from other organizations that they kind of gave up on, like Ryan Thompson, finding guys within the organization and the minor league system. He's like that guy where you open up your refrigerator and you go, God, we have nothing to eat. And he's like, say less, get out of my way. And next thing you know, he's making like some sort of, shrimp scampi with fresh garlic and butter without shrimp somehow, but it's incredible. He used soy and it was just as good. But yeah, no, I mean, there's something to be said about his ability to cook, if you will, without all of the ingredients or without the most expensive ingredients, right? He makes you an awesome meal, and then you're like, what was that? And he's like, the base was Kraft mac and cheese, son.
What? Yeah, no, but I honestly think that's the better way to build in baseball. The Yankees have won one title since 2000.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this isn't the 90s and early 2000s where you just buy the title, right? I mean, you could argue
several teams showed that last year.
I mean, the Dodgers, they play well. They got one, but like it's not the way that you win.
Yeah.
It's being smart. It's growing your talent. It's taking your shots when appropriate, and that's the way you win, especially in a smaller market in this game.
Like what the Braves are kind of doing. Braves they just did a good job of locking up their talent to long-term deals when they were young and when they were still in that phase. And they have themselves a solid team for a number of years. You could argue that the Diamondbacks have that now too, considering that a lot of what made them good are the guys that are going to be here for a while, that are age 23, 24 years old, that are going to lead the way at least for the next 5 years for this team. That's a satisfying feeling because you know who your core is and you know that you can build around those guys going forward. But, again, like the Suns, right? I hate to bring this up because it makes me hurt, but, there's times where I can't stand that we traded away Mikal Bridges, and I am one of the biggest Kevin Durant fans on the planet. So I am conflicted when it comes to moving on from your young talent that you felt like was part of your core and was going to be for a number of years, and bringing in those big superstars in order to try to get you to that next level.
But sometimes the reason you sign like the Braves or like the Diamondbacks did with Corbin, and no, I'm not suggesting they should move Corbin, but sometimes when you do that is so you have the flexibility in the future to move a guy like that on a good contract to get what you need.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right? And that's the smart way. And I think that's what Hazen is doing. I love the moves that they've made, and that's why you don't chase a guy like Ohtani. Let the Toronto Blue Jays do that.
Yeah.
Let them go that route.
That is the best case scenario for the Diamondbacks. Like, get him out of the National League. Keep him out of National League, I should say. Keep him in freaking, in the AL East. Keep him as far away from us as possible.
Yeah. And look, would you rather be what the Diamondbacks have accomplished or the San Diego Padres?
Yeah, that's a great point.
And it's that simple to me.
Yeah, that's a great
point.
I
mean, San Diego leveraged everything in this new world order with the TV money drying up to a certain extent, at least by 20%. If you go with MLB, like, you can't afford to make a mistake like that.
Yeah, I agree. Well, you guys can't afford to make a mistake like missing out on going to Circle K to get yourself some gas. Obviously, we know gas prices are dropping, and we're all loving that. But if you want to save even more on gas, sign up for Circle K's Inner Circle program. You can join for free right now by downloading the Circle K app. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. But if you do, you will save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. You'll also save 3 cents per gallon every day. And right now, they have the 31 days of Circle K in the Inner Circle app, which they are giving away all sorts of free prizes, snacks, weekly entry into bigger grand prizes, and so much more. So they are in the giving mood. It's the holiday season. Do not miss stopping by Circle K. Also, speaking of the holiday season, Shady Rays make an incredible gift this holiday season. Should you be looking for that perfect gift for that perfect person, they're an independent sunglass company with a world-class product that doesn't cost you nearly as much as the expensive brands. And they also offer the most insane protection plan in all of eyewear. Every pair of glasses, sunglasses, snow goggles, everything they have is all backed by their lost and broken replacement plan. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair. No questions asked at all. They'll also have your back if you do not love your Shady Rays. You can exchange them for another pair or get your money back for free within 30 days should you not love whatever you buy from their website. And exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people.
Baseball needs that same guarantee, a broken or lost.
Yeah, lost and broken placement plan on my team.
You sign a guy, and if he's lost it, or he breaks down, replacement.
Yeah, give me another player.
You get a replacement.
I don't know who has to give it up, but find me one. Give me him now. I love it.
Exactly.
You just can't get that these days. But what you can get that's nearly as good as the lost and broken replacement plan is a Die Hard membership, which is cheaper than ever right now. It's our best sale of the year. Go down, get yourself a Die Hard.
You can support us, the lost and broken people.
We're lost and broken over here. Yeah, get yourself down on with us. Get yourself an amazing shirt like this Yotes shirt I'm wearing. The Yotes are a wagon. Cooley's a wagon. Get yourself all the wonderful shirts over at the PHNXlocker.com. Get one for free for signing up for that Die Hard sale, which practically makes that membership free. I mean, we're talking about a $35 shirt and a $60 yearly membership. You'll get not only discounts at the PHNXlocker.com, but you'll get all sorts of other great stuff like access to our Discord lounge, which is the best place to be an Arizona sports fan.
So good.
We got Jesse's newsletter, of course. We've got so much more to offer, including discounts with our partners. You sign up for that. Illegal Pete's has a little present for you right out of the gate. So do not miss out on the opportunity to join us over here and become part of the family.
Jesse's mailbag. They're just all. Yeah. Jesse is worth the price of admission.
He really is. He really is. Because here's the thing. At 3 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday, you can go into the Discord lounge and you can ask Jesse a question about Steve Finley's 2002 season. And within 20 minutes, Jesse is contractually obligated to respond to you. Yeah. So where else are you going to get that kind of access to Jesse?
And little known fact, he actually reads it as well in the voice of Greg Schulte.
It's true. It's true. We've asked to record it, and he refuses because he said he won't do the voice. But it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Other things that are pretty good include today being the final day for MLB doing something great for Stand Up to Cancer charity. It is their final day of their winter meetings auction to benefit Stand Up to Cancer. And there are a number of incredible experiences to bid on, including experiences with the Arizona Diamondbacks. There's an exclusive meet and greet with basically the whole damn team. You get Zach Gallen, you get Corbin Carroll, you get Perdomo, and you also get Christian Walker and Gabriel Moreno. Includes a photo op, autographed memorabilia, a meal for 4, and tickets to both batting practice and a regular season game. They have the same thing with just Corbin Carroll, should you not want to hang out with those other guys.
Is there one for Ken Kendrick?
There absolutely is not. But I want
to have a beer with Ken Kendrick.
I want the Ken Kendrick. Can I get an experience where I bid on Ken Kendrick coming here to the studio to drink beers with us and hang out? Because that's all we want. We love you, Ken.
I'll donate to whatever charity you want.
But we can get close because there is the opportunity to experience a day in the life of Arizona Diamondbacks manager Torey Lovullo. And if that doesn't include drinking beers, then what are we even doing here?
Are you required to go do his Burns and Gambo hit?
Yes, you are. You're also required to go to a pregame basketball shoot-around with Torey Lovullo on the field, where you will play a game of horse against Torey Lovullo. I want to murder Torey Lovullo in horse. I want to hang every letter on him without getting one back.
Does he wear that? Was it a Booker Team USA jersey he was wearing?
Yes.
Does he wear that?
Oh, I'll wear mine. I'll wear my matching one.
Let's go.
You also get a chance to swim in the pool. Tag along for the manager's media availability, watch batting practice from the field, and enjoy the game with premier seats.
Okay, let me ask this. It's swimming in the pool. Do I get to run from the dugout, hop the fence, and jump in the pool?
Yeah.
All right, then I'm in.
That's the experience.
That's priceless.
But here's the thing. Danielle will beat you in a foot race out to the pool.
Of
So
course.
that's part of the experience as well.
You have to dodge the security guards.
That's very
as well,
true.
so.
Just imagine hanging with Torey for a day. How great would that be? Like, Torey seriously seems like there are some like experiences like that where I'm like, I don't really know. Torey, that's a no-brainer. Take all my money for that experience.
I want him to auction off Torey helping me put up my Christmas lights.
Oh
I
my
would pay
God.
good money for
Oh
Torey
my
to
God.
help me put up my Christmas
Oh my God. Torey coming and helping with my Christmas lights? Are you kidding me? That is amazing.
I would pay for that experience.
That's absolutely. You hit the nail on the head with that. What would one around this office be like?
Right now, the highest super chat. No, I can't do this. I was gonna say could host a show with Derek. But
could host Monday's show with Jesse while I'm on vacation.
How about that? Yeah. You want to talk baseball savant with Jesse? The highest bidder now is super chats.
Absolutely.
I don't know what it would be like. They could wear the mayor sash for a day and be the mayor of PHNX.
No, I'm not doing that. I refuse to do that. I did that with Shane, and it came back with stains on it.
That's Shane.
Yeah, you're right. You could go into the Four Peaks mini bar and record shorts and additional content for us. That's what a life of following Salt Bookman is like. You're gonna go and you're gonna have you do supplemental content for us.
JSU Sports with Anthony Tocher.
Oh God, it was so crushing.
That's a punishment. That's a punishment.
No, but if they win, then he's gonna treat it like a championship. So that's pretty fun.
That's true.
That's incredible.
That's true.
That's incredible. We got to get down on this.
You could help Leah write down all the numbers and
you have to go do.
Month,
no, you have to go do. If you win the experience, you have to help Jacob go through and do all of the copyright violations on YouTube for our music. That's what you have to do.
Nicholas, do a trick with the mullet magician. He doesn't work here. He just shows this mullet magician guy shows up out of nowhere, puff of smoke, does some chintzy magic and leaves. He's not even on the payroll.
His tricks are terrible too. I'm just gonna put that out there. He after he films that, he shows us all how he does it. It's terrible. He's not a good magician at all.
People are like, oh, it's Pete. I don't know who this guy is. He just shows up.
Wild.
I'm uncomfortable with it because sometimes the door's locked and he just magically shows up.
I thought it was Bo Brock for a while, but I think I could be wrong about that. Of course, if you are interested in bidding on this stuff, go to MLB.com/winter meetings auction. And again, that auction has been a big success, hopefully, for them. And I think someone's going to have a lot of fun with the day in the life of Torey Lovullo for sure. Hopefully you can help him make the lineup. That would be fun.
How about we go steal the corporate card out of Saul's wallet and help a good cause?
Yeah, we got to go. We got stuff to do. And speaking of stuff to do, I have an Arizona lottery scratcher to scratch, so we might win enough money right here, right?
I believe I have a coin over here.
You got a coin? I got a coin too.
I got right here.
Damon told me this is his lucky coin and that he would murder me if anything happened to it.
I said it's my last one. I had 3. 2 have been stolen by doing exactly things like this for ad reads.
You were so weird about it, though.
And then I said, this is my last one. If you steal it, I will find you and I will end you.
Yeah.
Damon, here.
Look, he's giving you
There's
one
another
from his
one.
pocket.
Look at that.
Great throw and catch. Over here.
Yeah, see.
I think you play outfield.
We go crazy when it comes to the Arizona Lottery stuff around here, folks. We don't mess around. And these Arizona Lottery tickets obviously make incredible stocking stuffers. If you're a last-minute shopper like Jesse, they make great gifts for procrastinators, too, on whatever you're going to. But not just that. They make great gifts all the time. I'm still trying to win some money here. Jesse wants 50%. I'm sure Espo's going to want to cut.
Hold on. Unlike Derek, you should gift these things. I'm the guest here, and he just goes, I'm scratching this bad boy.
I am scratching it. I'm scratching it. And let's see, did I win anything? Didn't win anyone on this one, but next time.
Next time we will.
See, and it's probably because I'm being selfish and not giving them away. That's probably the reason why I need good karma with that.
We bought like $500 worth of these things. Somebody's gonna hit big and just be like, peace out.
Yeah, see,
we didn't win.
When you see me do this live on air, All right, guys, I gotta go. Then you'll know that I won. And if I say I didn't, I'm a liar. But of course, that's the reason why it makes it so hard to give these away to other people.
Just remember, baseball is more fun with a giant stack of cash.
Yeah, bye! Yeah, because you can win up to $500,000. And again, who do I want to give $500,000 to? I don't like anybody that much, but we're gonna try, and I'm gonna give them away this holiday season. You should too. Go out and buy your holiday scratchers today. Find a retailer like our friends at Circle K near you at ArizonaLottery.com. You must be 21 years or older to play. And lastly, of course, we're trying to do all of your holiday shopping for you here. Foco.com is the place to go for the bobblehead lover, the sports collector in your life. They have the best sports and entertainment merchandise with a product line that includes apparel, toys, collectibles, novelty, and so much more. But most importantly, I can't get over their bobbleheads. Their bobbleheads, you can't find them anywhere else. They are original designs. They are numbered. They are limited edition, and they are incredible. They're incredibly, they're little tiny works of art, like I've said. So you know you have a bobblehead lover in your life. They already have a wonderful bobblehead collection. Get them something they weren't even expecting, like one of these World Series bobbleheads that Foco has over there, and go soon because those things are selling out every single day. There was one mystery one that I was going to get in on, didn't get the chance, missed it. That's how fast they sell out. So
the Derek Montilla one is coming out.
Oh, it's incredible.
Soon.
Yeah, it's the Mayor Montilla with purple hair, and I'm standing next to Heidi Watney giving her a thumbs up.
The hat comes off, and you're like, is that still the mayor?
Yeah, is that him? Is that the guy? Foco does always have our back for Arizona sports and for making bobbleheads of me, and they have yours too. Get the best gear around by visiting Foco.com and using code PHNX for all non-presale items. Use the code PHNX or PHNX10 for 10% off. They always get me on that one, but PHNX10. But all right, that's all we got. Espo, you're the man. I appreciate you as always for coming through. Jesse will be back on Monday. I will not. It's my wife's birthday this weekend, so I just wanted to take a moment to wish a very early and a very happy birthday to my favorite person in the whole wide world. So
happy birthday, Mrs. Mayor.
Yeah, that's right. Happy birthday. Of course, in the meantime, you can follow us on Twitter. I am at Cap_Caveman. This man inexplicably has Espo as his Twitter handle, which is just incredible.
I had to threaten some people pre-Elon at Twitter.
I get it. So. I get it. Good job on that. You secured the bag. Damon is at Damon Dog. That's DAWG. He is the people's producers, and we are Damon's dogs. Roof, roof. Perfect. Nailed it. Of course, our show is at PHNX_DBacks, but all roads do lead to at PHNX_sports. Max came over here and tried to do a breaking news thing, and that's why he's banned from the chat. He's banned from the chat.
Bite me.
And he deserves it. And that's the reason why he's banned from the chat, as you guys can all see. He tried to come over and do a breaking Ohtani thing. The son of a bitch, Max. But anyway, all right. Well, we appreciate you guys again. All roads do lead to at PHNX_sports, like I was saying. We thank you for your time. We will see you. Well, I won't on Monday.
Neither will I.
Neither will he. We're both not going to be here on Monday. But again, we thank you again for your time. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it is so much more fun when you don't spend all of your money on Shohei Ohtani.
We all silly like the mayor.